Okay, it seems to be working. Hi everyone, I'm Błażej Marciniak. With my friend Marek, we co-founded Sherly a while back, and then we did a couple of things. First of all, things of clarification. Sherly is a software. We started as a software and want to be a software company, but to prove a point and to show it how it works, we have our own reference point in the hardware world, we decided that we need a hardware component. Because what we do is essentially like your own Dropbox with our own technology and own file transfer protocol that is 20 times faster and saves Samba, all these 20-year-old protocols that move your files today. And we started as a desktop application. To make it continuously available, we need to have our own storage. And our idea is to integrate it with storage you already have, because you have plenty of those. You just don't use it well, or at all, for that matter. So we want to integrate all your hardware storage component into one, make it like a local cloud, and give you control to, you can use it, and you share it with anybody you invite. And you control every point of that. So Sherlybox essentially is a storage with a network running Sherly on top of it. So to how the Sherly is different, that's the public cloud paradigm. Ours is slightly different. We separate data from control. We don't take any user's data. We just synchronize metadata. That means that data does not leave your organization. It remains where they are. You just give control way access to people you invite, by name, by email, by any means to identify the person. So it's equivalent of me handing you hand-to-hand USB stick. So that's personal. And also, it's all about security. So everything is encrypted. Data remains on your devices, as I mentioned. You can also share it with people you invite. And as a difference from cloud storage paradigm, we never allowed users to write over somebody else's files. That means that if you are the owner of the group and you share some files with people, nobody can delete those files because they not belong to them. They belong to you. Same way, nobody can overwrite your files because this is not their files. They can create their own copy of it and we can aggregate that, but we will not allow somebody to delete your files. So data remains on your drive, on your own infrastructure. Control is being moved to the cloud that you control. Okay, so we have synced cloud. Cloud makes the contents being synced everywhere. Everything is everywhere. So it was magical like 5 years ago. Now it's just a problem because what we need is this: right data at the right device at the right time. Because when you use many devices at the same time probably, but you don't use two devices in exactly the same way. You have company laptop, but you have private tablet. The software there should take care of that difference and synchronize the data differently. Same way, this is a stationary PC, you should not be synchronizing data the same way like the laptop, which has a smaller memory. You don't want it filled up with data you don't currently use. So, why Kickstarter, why crowdfunding at all? The point is that crowdfunding is the greatest possible market test. If you think about figuring out if your product is at the sweet spot of market fit, that's the best way to test it. Because you can talk to people all day long, and they will tell you either it's great, or it sucks, or you do this, you do that. But actually, putting it in front of people and let them vote, strangers, total strangers, you don't never met them, they will tell you the truth, because either they like it, they get it, they don't get it. And it's that simple. So there are a couple of alternatives. You can have local ones, you can have global ones. First question you need to ask yourself is, am I solving the problem of the guy in Gdańsk, Krakow, or the same problem has a guy in New York or Tokyo? So either I go global or go local. It's not a right or wrong answer. It's a matter of being true to yourself, what problem you're solving. So there is other alternatives to crowdfunding, because you can actually start pre-order yourself. You don't have to go crowdfunding all day long. If you do it just for this one-time thing, that's more like starting a moving company to do one move. It makes little sense. Because doing Kickstarter, I can tell you, is crazy complex. from operation standpoint, into a US company, you have to go through all these steps that I'm going to go through in a minute. But when you're ready for your big launch, you have to be ready. You have to have a plan. Then you push a button, and most people wait. You don't wait. You have to go. Every week has a big announcement. Something has to happen. You have to make your own buzz. I mean, you're not hot until you get hot yourself. So first, you have to make some initial temperature about your product. Something exciting has to happen. So people will talk about it and be generally excited about it. And then things start to pick up. Even Kickstarter at the first, frankly, they don't give much credit to the makers. They're not very friendly at all. One thing is, once your campaign has a good start, they will promote you. So they take 5% of commission, but I can tell you that from all the pledges we got on Sherlybox, about 32% was generated by Kickstarter, because they promote you on hardware, they promote you on several sections like launch recently, like trending, like popular, like staff picks, all this criteria, this fields of people allowing backers to find you. And it makes sense. But first, you need to do your own heat. It doesn't happen by itself. You cannot just launch and wait for it to make it. I mean, what happened next? Nothing happens just by itself. So what you need to make it happen. First of all, if you started as a Polish company, you have to transform into incorporated company in the US. Usually it's a Delaware corporation with headquarters in Palo Alto or somewhere in California. But you definitely need a lawyer to set it up, because if you do it yourself or you Google how to do it, I can guarantee you mess it up. And this is simple mistakes can take months to undo, really. So you don't do it twice, you do it once, you do it right. Best step I can recommend is go about, first of all, if you're thinking about go crowdfunding, check what has been done before. I mean, there was almost everything was there. So there's a big chance that some of your product, your project, your idea was already there, and you can verify, was it well received or was it total blunder? From the other hand, there's no golden rule. I mean, take a Coolest. They started a couple of months back. They completely failed miserably. They raised maybe 70% of their goal. It was like 300K. And then they launched a couple of months back. They added Blender and boom, 13 million. Don't ask me, I don't get it either. So after lawyer, you need to have a company with the right structure. So again, don't mess it up. Don't do it yourself. This is really something that a lawyer can help you with. If you're looking for knowledge, the best place of knowledge I can recommend is Founders Network. This is like, it's a paid membership organization. It's like a LinkedIn for startups. But it's a perfect peer mentoring environment, I know, because you can just ask a question like, I had a massive problem how to get through Amazon payments, because Amazon payments is a thing on its own. It's like you start up an account, everything is great, paperwork is processed. Next day they send you email, your account is bad. Okay, you write back, what is the problem? I don't know, your account is bad. You call them, they say, oh, how can I help you? I have a problem with this account. Oh, yeah, I see. Your account is bad. Okay, so what can I do with it? I don't know, you can start over. Okay, I did, and again, and again, and again. After 6th time, I gave up. So I asked friends at the Founders Network, say, hey guys, I cannot get through this bot. How do I get past this? So there's a trick. You have to make them call you. You have to have a US number for them to call you. Then you have to ask them to verify you manually by giving them some sort of statement about your company. Because I'm pretty sure nobody will tell you this up front, but I'm pretty sure they use some kind of online verification if this entity ever paid taxes. If it didn't, it doesn't exist. Nobody knows you, probably fraud. So that's why they will not touch you until you prove that you paid some sort of taxes. So once you have Amazon payments done, you have to go through this all over again with Kickstarter, because they will do the same thing. Your account is bad, all over again. So we will launch at June 4th. And in May, we wasn't ready because account was still not active. I met the guy from hardware at San Francisco. I told him, hey, here I am. I'm launching soon. Get this verified. I'll see what I can do. And 3 days later, he did. But this is really complex to get it done. Normally, you need a person, a US citizen, that will essentially will have to vouch for your project to get your company verified on Kickstarter. And Kickstarter launched in Norway, Sweden, other countries, but they still are a very US company and it requires US compliance, which is a really, really complex, as I explained. So after you have a company set up, you need to have a bank account. And bank is also very tricky. So don't go to Chase, don't go to HBC, go to SVB. Because Silicon Valley Bank is a good bank. And frankly, if somebody of you complain about Polish banking, go to deal with American banking. Then you love Polish banking, really. Polish banks are great. They are light years ahead of any other US bank I saw. Really. I barely figured out how to send a wire. Send the wire, okay, what's next? Oops, nothing. I send the wire, where is it? I don't know. Where's the history? I don't know. You have to sometimes pull up the statement, which is day later. It's a mess, really. And they call it good system, really. So, then, once you launch, key thing, I'm gonna have, if I have the laser, the comments. That's a key thing. When I launched, I went to bed at 5 a.m. because I was so many questions, so many comments. I couldn't let that go. I had to answer every one of them until I can turn in. And really, communication is the key. And actually, these guys, the backers of the Kickstarter, there's like special breed because in Poland, mostly trolls comments. Sorry, but this is like sad reality that in Poland, you mostly hear bad comments. You don't hear good comments. In Kickstarter, a lot of comments, actually most of them are really good and really constructive, like, hey guys, this is not exactly perfect. Maybe you could improve it this or the other way. Actually, we moved from Banana Pi board from Raspberry Pi board to Banana Pi board during the Kickstarter campaign. Because one of the backers suggested, I didn't know that board existed. Actually, they launched it 2 weeks before. I didn't know it was existing, but it says twice as power, little more expensive, but we swallowed the cost, have the same dimensions, so I could figure it out the design. And basically, we upgraded the platform during the Kickstarter campaign, and it was a good call. We're already using it. We got first shipment, and it's performing really well. And Raspberry Pi, good toy. It's a toy, not for production. Too weak, too limited. Okay, that's it for now. Any questions? No questions.
There's the question up there.
Hi. So I would like to ask you, why did you decide to go for Kickstarter, not another crowdfunding system?
You mean crowdfunding at all, or Kickstarter specifically?
Specifically Kickstarter. I know that there are other crowdfunding systems that are available in Poland, which are not from Poland.
I mean, we had the alternative. We want to go global. We never thought about having a local product. Everything we do is in English. We don't even have a Polish version of our software. The point is we have either Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Indiegogo, it's still a little smaller, but it's catching up really nicely. And actually, guys from Indiegogo called us and say, hey, would you like to move to our platform? We will give you better support. And actually, they do. They're much more friendly than Kickstarter. Because Kickstarter is making a lot of effort to distance themselves from makers. I mean, I find it really difficult to reach anybody at Kickstarter. I have to go to the event and hunt for the guy from hardware to figure it out my problem. They don't make any effort to make it easy for makers, which actually essentially make Kickstarter what it is. Second thing is, that's the thing what you have. Because if you have no-brainer, simple product, I look at it, 2 seconds, and I know what it is, and I want it, you should go for Kickstarter, because Kickstarter is excellent for shiny, cool toys. But if you have something that needs explaining, you need to reach a niche that will get your product, but you have to get there, I would recommend to go for Indiegogo. Because they are much more friendly, The commission is a little lower because Kickstarter will take 5%, Amazon payments will take 3 to 5% depending on the country. Indiegogo is like 1-2% cheaper, so it's little difference, but in greater sums, it will get you a considerable number. And they are plainly putting person in front of you saying, hey, I'm the guy from Indiegogo, will help you what you need with your product. So that's really valuable. And basically what I've been through to get my company through in Amazon payments and through Indiegogo, it's a tremendous value. The problem with the Indiegogo is that they strongly rely on PayPal, which PayPal is calling himself a sheriff of the internet, because they can freeze your funds without any justification, saying, you know what, I don't like what you do. I mean, I'm not sure if I like it. Prove me that you're not doing anything illegal. Whoops. So what do? Go to police and say, can you sign me a paper? I'm not in charge of any fraud or something? I mean, PayPal is doing this weird stuff. Amazon payments, they don't. So that's like a benefit of the Kickstarter in favor of Indiegogo, but Indiegogo also accepts other kinds of payments, but PayPal is mostly.
Thank you.